With the exception of the police and fire departments, the city of Salem continues to drastically neglect general fund services. The provision of developed neighborhood parks is far short of the goals of the park master plan. The library's hours remain limited, and there's very little for basic maintenance of residential streets and many other needs. What tax measures would you support to raise general fund revenues to the point required by the master plans that guide the provision of general fund services?
Well, at this point, probably I'd look at if we could identify the right way to package this thing up, I think we ought to. I'd certainly be looking at serial levies. I'd be willing to come forward with serial levies that look at, and it's property taxes. I don't think there's a lot of good alternatives right now. I'd like to have another revenue task force put together.
That'd be a good idea.
Yeah, I think it's time to take another look. And look at a serial levy for the library, a serial levy for cops, one of those big general fund areas that would relieve it a little bit. We have some growth going on right now. We're coming out of compression. I think people are reacting to a situational problem that took us into a trough and out. We did just go through a huge recession. And that's where a lot of the problems occurred. Otherwise, we were on kind of a gentle slope upward at about 3% a year. But I do think I would like to see a serial levy that deals with public safety. I really think we need to. I am really, concerned about the closure of that North Salem fire station. I think that is dangerous. And I think it's not the fire, it's the medical calls up there. I think we need to do something up in that North Salem area. West Salem is going to have to come back online because we still got 600 some odd houses, planned up there, and that's what that service model looked like. The library is another great place to look at a serial levy, I think. We did add my motion, the action I did with the budget committee, added back Sunday service last year. So I think we can move forward still and add back Monday service. What we're missing is the West Salem Library. We talk about Central Library. There's still the West Salem Library operating on such limited hours.
3 hours a week.
Yeah, it's really bad. I'd like to get that back online as well in a more full, in a better manner, and I think that's another. Again, I think serial levies may be the way to go. It may be a package of operation levies. Part of it is getting people again to understand the role of government. Yeah, you do government with stuff you can't do yourself, or the private sector doesn't do itself, and I think part of it is working with people again on kind of a more agreed upon set of civic goals, and
quelling the free rider effect.
Yeah, and we're not going to ram this down the public's throat. So we got to work. We got a lot of work to do, and we're going to do it. But we got to spend some time on it because the property tax is really our fundamental resource. We have looked at a range of others. I'd like to look at them again, but they're very, very difficult to bring online, whereas a small increase in the property tax can actually be something we can work on. So.
But you'd like to, or you would, are you saying you would, or you just like to, as mayor, form a group to look at alternative ways of revenue?
Well, I think you got to tell them what you're buying. Where are the agreed upon areas?
Which is why a serial levy.
Yeah, serial levies are a good way to do it. You're saying we're going to buy this, 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 and this. You want to agree what you're buying, okay? And then you take it out. And then we're going to have to do another streets and bridges bond within the next 5 or so years. we're just gonna have to, and I think it'll be streets, bridges, and sidewalks. We've gotta do something about sidewalks in this town. So those are the kinds of things I think need to go on, yeah.
Okay. That's a,
No, I'm not shy about taxation. I think, but I think you have to go out and convince people to do it, or you're just throwing it up for a vote and losing. We just watched that happen. That's a terrible mistake to lose.
you're
Major
referring to
fire.
the transit.
Yeah,
Yeah. the
big
way-
mistake to lose.